my wife wasn't home yet. I was at home getting some things prepared or whatever, and my kids, were at home, and they were. My son, he has this little radio, whatever it is. So he was playing music, the music that they listen to on YouTube, and it was a lot of cuss words, man. And lately, I've been trying to, be more open, not open to mess, but just open, because I realized children, man, kids are smarter and they're more observant than we give them credit for. I think we know that now, but when it's your kids, you tend to overlook it because you're the authority. So you're the authority, and you are being an authority. You have your rules and your laws of your home, and your kids, are a part of that. And the scary part is they're individuals. So they're individuals, and they have a whole nother view of life than what you have, which we already know. But so I remember having a discussion. I don't know if it was a discussion or something was going on a few years ago, and my son was like, he doesn't see what's wrong with cuss words, because most people do it. Everybody do it. You does it. You can't shield them from cuss words. And I'll tell you, I'll slip up in a minute. I get mad, man, or if something happened, I'll slip up and they hear it, But I'm not ashamed to say that. But he was like, he doesn't think there's anything wrong with it. So why do we have to cut that off when it comes to the music that they listen to? The television shows that they watch, when it's all over TV now. It doesn't, you're not, it's everywhere you turn. And I remember when I was young, man, I cussed like a slave sailor. Now, that brother was mad. And I had a horrible mouth, man. And so I understand what he's saying on one end. And so just trying to, just deal with it, man. And my wife is the kind of person that she's, I can't say all women are like this, but for some reason, when it comes to the parenting in the house together, the man typically is a lot more abrasive or stern. So it doesn't matter if we are valid or we are right in a particular thing, it's going to sound to the mother, because she's the mother, and she has all of those things inside of her going off when she feels like her children are threatened. So that's something that has to be mastered as well, women. But she has a point, and I'm like, when you're married, you're in a relationship, you learn that you're not right most of the time. Either way. So I'm being observant that way. I try to give everything the benefit of the doubt. So my son's at home now. He's playing this music, and it's got a lot of stuff in it, and I'm really irritated. I'm getting irritated, but I'm just trying to keep myself level, and I'm trying to say, God, how do I handle this? You know what I mean? Because I don't know the right perspective. All day long I can give my opinion, and I could say this is right based on how I was raised, or how, we were conditioned as people, not even saying that's right. But I'm trying to figure it out. And I heard somebody say something like a couple of weeks ago, and I can't remember what the conversation was, but they were talking about this around the same thing, and how it's just, they realized that it was disrespectful what their child was doing in their environment. So that was really on me heavy. So my wife comes home, and me and her talking, whatever, and the music is still going. And then probably about an hour later, some songs got, some real words start getting a little heavier or whatever. So she goes in there and she tells him, hey, you're gonna have to cut this off. And I kind of felt, I'm kind of two-sided with it. I felt stupid, because I'm like, I should have said that. But then I'm still like, I'm the father, and I'm all, the father is looked at as the mean one. So I'm trying to be level, And then she had this whole conversation with him. So then I jump in here like, I am so glad you brought this up, because this is where I've been with this. And my son is in there quiet because he's not understanding. So I say a couple of things, and then so her switch turns on now, defensive mode for the kids. So then that kind of made me just a little irritated or whatever. But we got past that point, and I was able to make my point again just a little clearer, kind of leveled down. And it was just simply to tell the kids what I'm saying, what we're saying is, you have to realize that this is disrespectful to us. We are a family that moves this way in this family. We want to be good, decent, moral people, whatever that means. And one of the laws, one of the requests or requirements in our household is to operate in this level of respect, even if that's just simply for a specific set of people. Our rules or your rules or your rules, our rules or our rules. You know the old saying, when you get out on your own or when you get grown, you can have your own rules. And that's a real true statement. But the real principle, the real meaning behind this message or this video is, it's a level of respect that the children have to understand, that they have to have, because we live in a world with so many different dynamics, so many different ways to think, ways to view the world, so many different experiences. Your child will meet up with something one day that they think it's cool to do this, but whoever they're in front of may not think so. And then they may have an experience where it turns violent, or just really is an uncomfortable situation that maybe could have been alleviated had they known or operated in the wisdom, even if they think that they're right. Maybe they are right, but we have to learn how to be able to balance living with one another, because just because a person thinks this way with one thing, you're going to meet somebody who thinks this way with it, and nobody's wrong. So how do you balance it out? How do you smooth it over? How do you get to the sweet spot of communion with the person based on your perception of life? You got to just know the possibility that somebody may not understand what you understand. So this wasn't all about that. I knew I was going to forget some things to say, but it's cool. I just wanted to really bring out, if you're parenting and you run into this situation, the first thing is, as a parent, you have to be able to look out for your own guidance system. Look out for you first. And that's not a cruel statement. As long as it's decent and in order. You don't go out abusing people, at all. Even as a parent, if your child does something wrong, don't go off half-cocked. You got to do everything, because you don't realize that your child views it in a whole nother way. My son was like, I don't understand. There's cuss words all out here every day. He says, I don't even do this all the time. Why are you really upset? What makes you really mad about this? And he was really genuinely trying to understand. And 99% of the time, that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to understand what's going on. So we have to be willing as parents to understand that our children definitely have a mind of their own. And it's not a bad thing, because that's what God intended. It just has to be balanced out. It has to be broadened so they can function in life, in a way that benefits everybody. So remember, your child, your kid is an individual. They just need to know what you're talking about. And don't say, because I said so, because that's one of the quickest ways for your child to turn the dysfunction dial on. And now she's operating in a way because they're genuinely trying to understand this situation. All you got to do is sit them down and talk to them. Now, will they get it when you do that? Sometimes, a lot of the times, no, because they're still developing their reasoning system. But what they do get, and they do understand, that They understand the difference between a hostile environment and an environment that's not hostile. So you treat them as an individual, you treat them as with respect, and just tell them why it is you have or you hold this viewpoint or you have this law in your home. And things will definitely smooth out. And you got to be able to do it together as parents. You have to understand that both of you have character points, meaning you have a particular character that shows up in this world the right way, and you just view things differently based on how you were raised, and even in your gender. So you understand those things as a couple, and you talk about it. You get to the point where you realize that no, you're not being, because it took me a while, and it still takes me a moment at times to feel like I'm not being, nobody cares about what I say or how I feel. I'm looked at as the bad guy. It takes a minute to get past those things because there are reasons why you feel like that anyway. But when you get at a point where you can talk and you understand one another's character and nature and differences and viewpoints, then you create, a place from there. Then the parenting really starts to be a huge benefit, in those areas. So I hope I didn't ramble too much and confuse it, but I just wanted to tell you what's on my heart. And we're probably, me and her, are going to come and do another segment about this, because we really want this particular thing to be, in our experience, in our world, to be visible to people, for people to understand, because it's a real issue, and it's a real thing that's happened to us and our kids. It's Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday. Go out and do your thing. That's it. Talk to you. Peace.